Welcome again to the Melling Law YouTube channel, where we talk about different estate planning topics relevant to residents of Utah. Today, it's the first week of January, and we're talking about New Year's resolution and change. The state legislature also is, those changes in law come about with the beginning of the new year. And they're going to be meeting over the next couple months and discussing different changes in law or potential changes in law that are going to directly affect Utahns. So we're going to just provide a little bit of an update today, so it'll be a little longer than usual. One of the bills that has been introduced in the past that will not be returning is the change to the Asset Protection Act. It appears that the bill challenging that is not going to be resurfacing this year. So as far as asset protection trusts go in Utah, looks like that's staying the same, at least for this year. There's also a transfer on death act that might be coming into play. That one, of any of the potential changes, is probably the most likely to pass without any kind of resistance. A lot of other states have transfer on death deeds. We don't here in Utah, but in states that do, what it allows you to do is file a deed with your county to transfer real estate, but that transfer is only triggered upon death, and until death it's totally and entirely revocable. What that does is it expands the options available to Utahns in estate planning. Right now, property can only be transferred by a deceased person one of three ways: either through the court-appointed and court-supervised probate process, or through an LLC if the property is held in an LLC or any kind of business entity, or through a trust of some kind. But property still in a person's name can only be transferred through that probate process. So what this allows people to do is gives them another option without necessarily having to put assets into an LLC or a trust and still avoid probate. There will be some potential problems with that, and we'll discuss those if the bill is passed, just things to look out for and best practices with those kinds of deeds. So as far as major changes in estate planning, that's probably going to be the biggest one. There are a few other bills that are being introduced, and they're really not as, they don't have as big an impact on estate planning in Utah. A few technical changes to the probate code. There are some about management of digital assets by fiduciaries. So let's say you're incapacitated, you have a digital asset, some kind of asset, whether it's through an online third-party platform or proprietary. It would allow fiduciaries, whether a guardian or conservator or power of attorney, access to those under certain situations. There's another potential act that would govern the behavior or practices of corporate boards. So there are a few minor changes, and if those are passed, we'll cover them, but there are too many really to really track in detail at this point. But that's just a heads up, so look for those over the next couple months. If any of those are passed, most of them will come effective the second week of May, and so we'll see what happens there. But as far as the new year goes, it's always a time to think about goals, and regardless of these changes, none of them are so major that it's really going to impact most estate plans. So if your New Year's resolution is to get your affairs in order, feel free to contact us anytime at 435-572-0807 or at office@mellinglaw.com.